the Only MMA Show, an MMA podcast available on YouTube and Spotify and hosted by MMA content creator Colton Ownley. Okay, now we are recording. Thank you for joining me, Austin Hall. This is Austin Hall, ladies and gentlemen, for you guys watching. He is a pro MMA fighter with an undefeated record, also an amateur career, and he is now on the podcast. Thank you for joining me.
Howdy. How's it going?
Going good. It's going good. I hope it's going good for you. I have some questions. First question I want to ask you is, when did you decide that you wanted to become an MMA fighter, and what was the thought process?
Growing up, I did jiu-jitsu when I was younger. So, growing up, I always competed. When I was in middle school, the opportunity arose for me to take an exhibition MMA fight, and that played out the way it did. And after you step in there, there's no going back. So I couldn't really say no to going again.
Okay, so you've been doing it since a young age.
Yeah, I started jiu-jitsu when I was 7. Kickboxing pretty much right after that, and have been doing it the whole time.
Yeah. I actually took the same path. I started jiu-jitsu, and then about 6 months later, I started taking kickboxing. So we both start young. I start young. You started young. Okay, so you did go into your first fight with experience. What made you really decide that you want to go pro? What moment or fight did you decide that you want to go pro? And walk me through the thought process of that.
So my last amateur fight was against a kid. His name was John D. Fuller. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt, and he had pretty much ran the jiu-jitsu circuit for a while. I racked up a couple wins, on the AME side of things, and he had showcased that he had some talent for MMA, and when we competed against each other, I pretty much dominated that fight. And once we realized at that point, we're ready to move on to the next level.
Yeah, so you beat someone with a lot of experience, and then you realize that you wanted to go pro. Makes a lot of sense. And then, are you grateful for your amateur career, or do you wish that you'd have gone pro sooner if you were presented with the opportunity?
Oh no, I'm absolutely grateful for my amateur career. I was able to go and start fighting as an amateur directly out of high school, and I did that time and experience, and I'm still gathering experience. I'm young, still, but I needed that experience. It's helped me out a lot.
So how young are you? You're in your 20s or something like that, correct?
22. Yes.
How many wins do you have? What's your record?
Overall now it's 12 wins.
Okay, and how many of those are professional?
It'll be 6.
6. So 6 pro wins, 6 amateur wins.
It'll be 5 amateur wins. They before the age of 18, aren't allowed to have an amateur record. So my fight when I was in middle school doesn't get counted.
Oh, so you took a long layoff from middle school, technically.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did middle school. You took a lot of time to get better, and then you started fighting amateur at 18, and then you turned pro as an adult, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how have you evolved as a fighter since you've gone pro, both as a fighter technically and mentally?
Oh, I think just mental resilience. I mean, you can even see it in my last fight. I took some shots, and I was able to get myself back together and get in and win that fight. And you can't do that without experience. And technically, a lot's changed. I've become a better striker. My jiu-jitsu is a light years better than it was when I first went pro. So we made a lot of progress, and especially as an athlete too. I didn't think about that as a kid, but being an athlete is just as much a part of fighting as being a martial artist.
Okay, how would you describe your style? You said earlier that you have both kickboxing and jiu-jitsu experience. What do you prefer doing?
Oh, I'm definitely a grappler. I like to pick people up and throw them around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people will prioritize striking. So as a grappler, you also have the advantage of keeping the fight where you want to go. Is that how you come into it?
Yeah.
Fights? Yeah.
Of
All right,
course.
so if you were to run into, say, another grappler who was better than you, would you keep the fight standing, or would you still have a lot of confidence in your grappling abilities?
Oh, no, I've got the best jiu-jitsu in MMA, for sure.
Oh.
For sure. So whoever wants to grapple, you can grapple.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. And you are a champion in Anthony Pettis Fighting Championships, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what weight class do you fight in?
125.
125, okay. How much weight do you have to cut to make 125, or do you fight close to your natural weight?
Oh, I'd say I'm a pretty small 125er. I walk around, I cut 10, 15 pounds. So not a whole lot.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And when you're on the feet, you said that you have a lot of kickboxing. Have you also trained Muay Thai? Because kickboxing, Muay Thai is similar, but small differences.
Well, most of my stand up is MMA oriented.
Okay.
When I started training striking and kickboxing, it was for MMA. So it's a very MMA oriented striking style that I have. It's all about mixing my wrestling and my grappling in with my striking. So I do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and use your excellence in one style to maybe create openings in another. Is that how you also play into it?
That's exactly how I approach it. Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You fought for APFC a lot, and now you are the champion there. Do you plan on keep racking up title defenses there, or if you get the opportunity, would you fight for another organization?
Um, that's more of a question for my team than me, but
Okay.
I'm willing to fight whoever my team decides to put in front of me.
Okay, so you let your team really decide your path as a fighter, and then all you do is train and make sure that you get the job done.
Yeah, I beat whoever is in front of me at the end of the day.
Okay, that's good. How far? Obviously, the main goal for almost any MMA fighter is to get to the UFC. How far away do you think you are from getting a shot at UFC?
I think I'm, only one or two fights away from getting that contract secured.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense being an undefeated plus an amateur with background in several martial arts. I think you could be pretty close. And we've kind of rolled through this. You've answered a lot of questions. Do I have any more questions? What age do you plan on retiring? Obviously now you're still young, but what do you think is the best retirement age for an MMA fighter?
Well, I think that depends on your success level. There are guys who can do it later into their career, into their late 30s and early 40s, and still compete at a high level. I don't see myself doing this into my late 40s. I'd say I probably got another decade or so, another 10 years, and then we'll
Yeah.
probably be looking to call it.
Yeah, I think 35 is the perfect retirement age. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We kind of rolled through this. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think this was great.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. And I'm going to end this. I wish you a lot of luck in your career.
Thank you.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.